What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikaPikaPapa, and I am so pumped to finally be talking about Pokemon 151 here in the PikaPikaPapa channel. And, you know, whenever a new set comes out, I don't rush to produce content. I always give it exactly 1 month from the set comes out before I do my first video on it. And, you know, with Pokemon 151, we saw some of the reasons why I do that. Like, as soon as the set came out, there was a lot of content about Pokemon 151 prices are crashing, right? And then a week later, we saw, oh my god, Pokemon 151 prices are recovering, and that's all well and good. But for me, I like the market to do its thing. This is a collecting, investing channel, so I like the market to do its thing for at least a month, and then I'll go ahead and do some content on it. Now, I'd probably have a lot more clicks and likes and subscribers if I did it, but that's not what this channel's about, right? We're about quality over quantity, and I think this is a great time to look at Pokemon 151 because the reality is this set is doing things differently than we're used to seeing, right? We're used to seeing Pokemon sets drop. Pre-release, the prices are way up high, and then as soon as they release, the Pokemon prices drop. I call it the Pokemon pop and flop. But what we're seeing here is we're seeing a lot of strong singles cards movement, which is really exciting. But also, when I see something that's performing a little bit differently, I want to approach it with a big degree of trepidation because, listen, you don't control what this set's going to do in the future. I don't control what this set's going to do in the future. The reality is the demand is there. The question is going to be on the supply side of things. And on this slide right here, you see, yeah, it's sold out on the Pokemon Center. You can't buy any of this on PokemonCenter.com, but I was in Target over the week, and guess what? I saw ETBs there, I saw the Zapdos box, I saw the binder collection. Like, there's plenty of this product out in the wild right now. So we will do some comparisons to some of these sets in the past that have kind of jumped out like this. We'll see where they're at now. And one of the things that I always like to do when I'm investing in the Pokemon space is I remember a lot of my fundamental approaches in the regular investing space, right? In stocks and bonds and mutual funds. And I'm a big student of that space. And I'm always trying to learn from some of the greatest investors of all time. And there's one quote that I think from one of the best guys, I mean, a billionaire investor, that I thought was really applicable to this period of time right here. And it's from Sir John Templeton. And what he says is this. He says, the four most dangerous words in investing are this time it's different. Now, he's referring to like macro level, economic level, like world level events that are going on. You can look at all kinds of different times over the period of investing in different products where prices crash and they always find a way to recover, right? Like, remember the pandemic when the stock market was destined for zero, according to a lot of people. You had to buy gold. Remember, like, all the cryptocurrencies was the only way your money was going to be safe. Well, guess what? The stock market has come back and it still has a very bright future. Now, you can apply the same thing to what's going on with the overall market softening in Pokemon right now. Like, people might be jumping out of the hobby. People might be saying Pokemon cards are going to zero, but they're not. This is a normal market correction. The most dangerous thing you can think is this time it's different. Now, when we're talking about sets, of course sets can be different. There can be different cards that are featured. There can be different print amounts. There can be different print quality. Like, there's a lot of things that can cause a set to be fundamentally different. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at a couple of sets in the past that maybe we thought would have been different and see how they're performing right now. And then we're going to look at a ton of Pokemon 151 products and we're going to talk about it. And I am absolutely pumped to do it. Now listen, as I always say, hey, if you enjoy this kind of content, hit that subscribe button. We have an amazing community. I'd love for you to be a member of it. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. Questions or comments, drop them down below. So now let's get into a couple sets that I thought were worth a comparison. Now I'm going to go through these pretty quickly because we're all here to talk about 151. But when I was looking at 151, even pre-release, I was comparing this to Celebrations, right? Now, Celebrations launched in October 2021, right? That was a couple years ago. It just hit its 2 years anniversary. And this was a really interesting set because it came out and then it kind of disappeared. And Pokemon basically said, we're not going to print anymore. But then guess what? 8 months later, they started printing more. And you can still find some out in the wild today. Now, the reason I like 151 better than Celebrations is there's a lot of reused artwork here, right? When you look at Pokemon 151, it's original artwork. It is absolutely fire, so I think it gets the leg up there. But again, Celebrations is also, it's an anniversary set, right? There's a lot of love in that. When you look at the way these have performed, not a lot of big hitters there in the singles department, right? Obviously, that Zard is way up there at the top at $78. The ETB is at $75. The Pokemon Center exclusive ETB is at $114. The Ultra Premium Collection box, you know, I think this box is absolutely one of the best pieces that I have in my personal collection. I see it up over my shoulder right here, and I absolutely love it because this one wasn't printed in the ground. Now, I think the 151 Ultra Premium Collection might be, but we will just have to see in the long run. So again, remember the hype around Celebrations. Remember the fact that it went away for a little bit, and then it came roaring back, and I don't know if we're going to see the same type of thing in 151. Only the future will tell us. So then I thought, hey, let's look at some specialty sets that have some really valuable singles cards because right now, a lot of the 151 singles cards are doing really well. And Hidden Fates just absolutely jumped off the page at me. I mean, this checks all the boxes. You got shiny Pokemon, right? Like you got a Charizard as the big chase card at almost $400. You got the Evolutions in here, right? You got Mewtwo GX. You got Cynthia out there. Like, it is just a awesome, awesome set. And even with as awesome as of a set this was, came out in August of 2019, so that was pre-pandemic. So these single card prices have a little bit of that pandemic pump still built into it right now. But these top 6 cards right here, I mean, number 6, that Mewtwo EX right there, guess what? It's a $52 card, and that is nothing to shake a fist at. But we also have to remember, this was a totally different era of collecting. As I said, it was pre-pandemic, right? The supply was much less. I guarantee you that much. There wasn't as much interest then as there is now. I bet sealed collecting wasn't as popular then as it is now. So what I'm saying is, yes, these singles have done really, really well, and who knows if we're going to be able to compare them to 151, because again, it's all going to come down to supply, because the demand sure is there. Now, the ETB from this has done pretty well at $160. That's solid growth from 2019 till now, but the singles cards are what has absolutely popped off. These are the best singles cards. Specialty sets as a whole don't have a tendency to hold a lot of price appreciation, a lot of price value in their singles cards, but Hidden Fates has done it, so Hidden Fates is an awesome comparison. Now, let's get into some of these 151 cards right here. So, the Charizard, absolutely doing great. And you might be saying, hey, listen, it's only up 2.7% over the last month. Well, guess what? When any new set drops, when the big chase card is up after a month, that is a huge, huge win. It started off at $109, right at $110. Now it's up to $112. And I'm telling you, I think this card is going to continue to do well over time. That Blastoise card right there is just absolutely insane. Started off at $38.84 all the way up to $54 right now, up 41%. And then the Venusaur down there, we were lucky enough to pull this card when we did our Pokemon Center exclusive ETB opening, and I absolutely love this card. It's fire, it's beautiful, and that one is up 22.4%. Look at this. All 3 of these top cards right here are up after a month. You just don't see that when Pokemon releases any new sets. You never see them go up in value, so this is really, really cool and really, really exciting. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about right here is the Zapdos. Yeah, I said Zapdos. You heard me. The Zapdos card, it was at $47.55. It has come down to $41.20, so that one is actually down 13.4%. Our first card that we have seen that has lost a little bit of ground. And I will say this, the Alakazam, yeah, it's up from $33.35. It is at $36.26, up 8.7%. But guess what? Look at the trend. It is definitely trending down. So when we look back at this in another month, 2 months, 3 months, is it still going to be up? I don't know. It's all going to depend on how the hobby loves this Alakazam EX card. And then Erica's Invitation. This is a surprising one for me. I thought that this card, was going to do better. Now, it might be because some of the regular Pokemon, the non-trainer cards, are so beautiful and there's so much hype around it, but it started off at $51, like a lot of us thought, hey, this is going to be the next big full art trainer chase card. Now it's down to $35.46, down 30.7% in the last month, and I'm not pulling the trigger yet. You know me, I like to wait 6, 8, 12 months even before I start buying some of these new singles, but I think in the long run, this card is going to do really, really well. Now, getting into the next 3 right here, we start to see a ton of green again. And when I say a ton of green, I mean some really, really big jumpers here, right? That Charizard EX was $25.11. Now it's at $29.75, up 18.5%. You got the Charmander card started at $16.79, up 69%. That's just absolutely silly for a non-top 5 card, up 69% over a month. And then the Bulbasaur right there, $8.69. Now it's up to $27.83, a 220% price appreciation. All these prices come from TCGplayer.com, so hey, don't hate the player, hate TCGplayer.com if you don't agree with them, but these are the graphs that I pull it from. So really cool to see these singles cards that are performing really well, and again, acting a little bit differently than sets that we're accustomed to seeing. Now, let's look at some of the single products right here. So that 151 Ultra Premium Collection, I kind of teased this earlier on. There's a lot of these out there, right? I saw it at Target. You can find it at Walmart. There is no shortage of 151 Ultra Premium Collections. It is also that time of year where we're getting near Black Friday, so it'll be interesting to see if you can find any deals on this right now. This one is actually down 11%. MSRP is $119.99. You can easily find this in the $100 range if you hunt and peck well enough. Now, my personal all-time favorite of all of the new things from Crown Zenith on forward is the Pokemon Center exclusive ETB. Started off at $59.99. It is up over $104 right now. 74% price growth. I have 4 cases of these. I snuggle with them at night. I love them. I hug them. I think they're absolutely awesome long-term buy and holds, and I'm really, really stoked that I was able to get those early on. Now, regular ETBs, again, I found this out in the wild, and it is still, listen, it's at $55.50 right now versus an MSRP of $49.99. What will it do in the long run? As we said, it all comes down to supply and demand. And then the booster bundle. Personally, I just don't, it's not a product that I'm in love with. I know everybody is absolutely on fire about the booster bundle. Funny story, that Target that I was at, they had a display for booster bundle. They had the ETBs in stock. They had the Zapdos box in stock. They had the Binder Collection box in stock. But you know what was sold out? Was this booster bundle right here. Yes, I think 6 packs for the price of 6 packs is going to be a great long-term price appreciation. I think it's going to be a great thing to hold. But it's really interesting to see that in such a short amount of time, it is all the way up 47%. So listen, 151's got some great sealed products. Again, it's just going to be interesting to see how this all plays out in the long run. I am not going to sit here and put a flag in the sand and say, listen, Pokemon 151 is the set of the ages. I'm not even going to put my flag in the sand and say, you know what, Pokemon 151 is the very best set of Scarlet and Violet, because who knows? We just don't know yet, right? Like, there was a time where we thought the Celebrations Collective was going to be the set of Sword and Shield, but guess what? Evolving Skies came around and slapped every other set down and became the big chase. So I don't know where 151 is going to end up. It certainly is acting different now, but remember, the most dangerous words in any type of investing is this time it's different. So I hope you guys enjoyed this content. I hope you took some stuff away. I hope you have all the Pokemon 151 you could ever hope of and are really, really having a lot of fun with it, because I know me and the family are doing just that. So I appreciate you guys. You guys have an epic one, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.